Now that we've covered 6 ways of getting a sample, you're going to try these out by matching up or identifying which strategy is used in each example below. So your options are simple random, systematic, stratified, cluster, convenience, and voluntary response. So go ahead and pause the video and give that a try. Okay, so hopefully you gave that a try. Let's go through and see how you did. So the first one, at a local community college, 5 math classes are randomly selected out of 20, and all of the students from each class are interviewed. So this one sounds like they've broken things into groups. So that would tell me this is either stratified or cluster. And since they took all of the students from the group they selected, it's going to be cluster. So the way that I remember that, or that I keep those two matched up in my head, is that cluster has an L in it and all has some L's in it. And so if you're choosing just some of the groups and taking everyone, all of those people, that'll be a cluster. A community college student interviews everyone in their biology class to determine the percentage of students that own a car at that school. That is going to be a convenient sample. They just ask the people easily available to them. So you're going to get biased data unless there's some reason to believe that that particular class is representative of the entire school, which I very seriously doubt. A researcher randomly selects and interviews 25 tenure track professors and 25 non-tenure track professors. So now we're back to looking at 2 groups here, several groups. So that'll put me back in stratified and cluster. Since the 2 groups are tenure and non-tenure, and we've taken some from each group, that's going to tell me this is a stratified example. A researcher for an airline interviews all of the passengers on 5 randomly selected flights at Denver Airport. Again, we've got that all of the people in the selected groups, so that's going to tell me this is a cluster sample. Based on 12,500 responses from 42,000 surveys sent to its alumni, so they just basically span their whole database, a major university estimated that the annual salary for their alumni was $92,500. So this is an example of one where they put a survey broadly out there, and then they just let people respond as they will. So this is going to be a voluntary response sample. And anytime that I see something that's a voluntary response, one of the first things I think about is, well, which way do I think that this data is going to be skewed? And so in this case, I think that 92,000 is really high. I think that just based on life experience anyway, but if I think about the reasons why people would respond to that survey, the people that are responding are probably the people that want to brag about how well they're doing. And so you're probably going to get more of those higher end responses than you are on that lower end. All right, the names of 70 contestants are each written on a card. The cards are placed in a bag, and then 3 cards, so 3 names are picked from the bag. That is going to be a simple random sample. All of the teachers from 85 randomly selected nation's middle schools were interviewed. So there's definitely going to be like someplace like the US, a lot more than 85 middle schools. And since they took all of the teachers, that's going to be a cluster. Wanting to go to lunch with friends, the quality control manager inspects the first 10 widgets manufactured that morning so he can leave early. Yeah, that's going to be a convenient sample. That's not the way you want to do that. Every 5th person boarding a plane is searched thoroughly. That's going to be systematic. And then a market researcher randomly selects 200 drivers under the age of 35 and 100 drivers over the age of 35 so they can inspect their records. So here we're splitting this into a group of under 35 and over 35. We're taking some from each of the groups that we split that into. So this is going to be a stratified sample.